Well, today on Extra Point, we have Beaverhead County High School speech and drama coach Jordan Plutt. Welcome, Jordan. Our program is brought to you today by Dennis Sherg of Edward Jones, 82 Coffee Company, Susan McRae Accounting, and Town and Country Foods. And Jordan, I'm going to put you on the spot like I do all the other coaches that come here. I want the Jordan Plutt 101.
Okay.
So, and I know a lot of these questions already, but I'm going to let you answer anyway. Hometown.
Dillon, Montana.
Okay, and you're a Beaverhead County High School grad.
I am, class of 2008.
2008. Boy, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm getting up there.
And you're a Montana Western graduate
I am,
as
yes.
well. So what was your degree in?
Secondary education, English, and then I got a minor in library media.
Okay. And your first job, once you walked across the stage with your Montana Western diploma, was where?
I went to Plains, Montana, northwestern Montana, and I sure do miss that town.
Okay. Well, one of our friends, Mike Miller,
Yep.
a native of Plains, he was kind of sad to see you go because he had heard
Mm-hmm.
lots of good things about you. So what did you do at Plains exactly as far as your education responsibilities?
So I taught English for a few years there because it's a pretty small school. We had about 150 K through 12. And I was a K-12 librarian, and they keep you busy. So I did honor society and coached a variety of athletics from junior high to high school, and concession stand manager and all the fun stuff that keeps you busy.
So basically what you're telling me is what happened to you happens to all first-year
Yep.
teachers. All the jobs that haven't been taken are given to
Yep,
you.
you're voluntold.
Yeah, voluntold. I like that. I like that. Okay, so how long were you at Plains?
4 years.
4 years, and then you came back to your alma mater, BCHS.
Yes, I was very lucky.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen very often.
No, not at
That
all.
doesn't. If it does happen, it usually happens a number of years into your
Right.
career. So,
Right.
what's your primary responsibility at BCHS?
The librarian, so I just take care of all sorts of technology things and check out books and make sure we have plenty of resources.
No teaching, huh?
Uh, Somewhat, in and out of classrooms when they need it with some resource materials and stuff like that, but mostly sticking my hole in the library.
Okay, and then you were involved in athletics too. I know you were in athletics as an athlete when you were at BCHS, and you mentioned that you had coached at Plains.
Yep.
And then you stuck your toe in the coaching ranks here at BCHS.
I did, yeah. I did volleyball for 4 years, actually 5, I think, and then softball for 1 year. So I did a little bit here, and it was fun.
Okay, but now you're back at Dillon in another coaching role, but then you've got an extra. You already have started your team. Don't you have a daughter?
I do, yes. She's 4. Her name is May.
May, 4 years old, huh?
Yep, she'll be 5 in July.
She your assistant coach? Does she come along to a lot of the stuff?
Yeah, she does make lots of appearances, and she is naturally dramatic. So I think she'll be a state champ in some kind of drama.
Okay, well, you are the speech and drama coach, and it's an interesting and to me it's kind of an unknown entity. I'm not that really familiar with everything, but I did a little research. And I learned that the Montana High School Association sanctions speech, debate, drama competition for member schools in Class A, B, and C. And that competitive season is from the first weekend in October and ends in late January. So I think that's good because that's spreading the versatility of what activities kids can participate in. I know when your activities director, Brock Millimaki, was in here, he had commented that within the student population of BCHS, there's just a 5 or 6% of the students who don't compete in everything or anything, I should say.
So throughout the year, all of our kids are very active, and it's great that we have so many opportunities and in different capacities. So it's not just solely a band standard or athletics, we have a variety of things that they can participate in.
Well, let's talk about speech and drama competition. Give me the skinny on it because, like I said, very unfamiliar with it. So, how about a little game plan on speech and drama?
So it is an incredible activity that I think every kid should have to do. It tests you on your speaking capabilities, how you can interact with people in public. it's very courageous for kids that want to do it. So what they do is they pick an activity, speech, debate, or drama. You can't be in multiple things, you can only be in one. So my group of kids that I have right now, I have 1 speech kid and 9 drama kids. And there's different activities within those categories. And they can be anything from a serious to humorous. They can memorize a public address. They can debate policy. So it's pretty open-ended for what they want to do. And once they pick that activity, we go and we compete against other Class A schools, and sometimes B and C depending on the meet that we're at. And they go into different rounds. Normally there's 4 rounds, and they compete against others, about 7 other people in that group. And they're scored on their pieces, how they present them, how they make the audience feel. It's very, very critical. And truthfully, I don't think I could get up and do that and then be judged on my performance. You know, they're very strong kids to go through that round after round after round. They compete 4 rounds, and then there's a final. They have to be in the top 8 to make the finals. Once they perform their final rounds, they're scored and placed 1 through 8.
Okay, well, we're going to come back because there's some extra hardware in the trophy case at BCHS, but we're going to talk about that. But first, we're going to take a break and be back with more on Extra Point on Southwestern Montana News.
Looking for made in Montana food products? Look no further than Town & Country Foods of Dillon.
Back now to Extra Point, and today the subject is Beaverhead County High School Speech and Drama in the studio. And by the way, we're in the new location. Jeremy moved his studio a few weeks ago, and you're the second guest we've had in here. Alyssa Matter last week, the softball coach, was the very first one.
That's exciting.
So what do you think of the new studio?
Yeah, it's great. I haven't been in here in a while, so it's cool to see it like this.
I brought you some history. You didn't know that this was a movie house
No,
at
I
one
had no
time.
idea.
Yeah, well, that was a little before your time.
Oh,
A little
definitely.
before your time. So, okay, so let's get back to speech and drama, and we're going to talk about the drama competition, which you said in historic terms is relatively new on the scene.
Yeah, so my dad actually called a few people and was kind of more curious about how things kind of worked out. And Montana was kind of the front runner of bringing drama into the mix. And so back in the 70s, it started up, and Montana was really the driving force to bring the drama program to where it is now. And really on the west side of the state, drama isn't as popular. Corvallis has been a dominating house for years, but outside of Corvallis and maybe a few others, it just hasn't really been happening. The east side of the state, they're just crazy into drama, and they're very good. So for us to bring back the program in the last couple of years has been incredible, and then to do so well as we did in drama is incredible. We've got lots of kids who write their own pieces. It's part of the cool thing about drama. You can find scripts. You can have a humorous piece. You can have a serious piece. You can have duos. You can have theater up to 4 people. So I actually had a couple groups that wrote their own scripts, and that's incredible because it takes a lot of time and energy, and people have to like it. You know, it's not tested until you perform it. So they do a really good job of helping that drama side.
Well, and speaking of all the creativity, you brought some hardware back.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
in competition, we talked about the competition being first weekend in October to late January.
Yeah.
And I mean, a pretty good year for the Beaver as a whole.
Yeah.
You know, state championships, and you guys added your own share to
Yeah.
the trophy case.
Yeah, it wasn't a banner, but that's all right.
That's okay.
Yeah, we won divisionals. We were pretty much undefeated on the season. Every meet we went to, we did win on the drama side for Class A. And state was incredible. We had a lot of entries in there, and obviously when you have more numbers, you score more points, and that helps you in the long run. So we took third, and that hasn't happened in 22 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How's that trophy look in the trophy case?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
We hadn't got the names put on it yet. So
Okay,
it
it's a
did
good
look
thing I
good
didn't
without.
ask you to bring it down, so because we usually like to show it off, put it on the table and show it off a little bit. Well, we're going to talk about maybe some of the topics. Once, and you can ask me. This is from my research. As far as speech competition goes, 10 to 12-minute speech on a topic of their choice. And as the author of my research said, it provides students with an opportunity to develop and practice their public speaking skills,
Oh, it
which you
does.
said.
Yep.
Which you said, and you know, I know someone on the team. I'm not going to embarrass her, who I know loves it, and a couple of years ago, I never would have thought that she would be doing something
Right,
like that.
right.
But wow! But what kind of topics did you have in your speech competitors this week, or excuse me, this year?
Yeah, so we had a variety. We had a dramatic theater group that was four kids that got together, and they wrote this piece, and it was basically a stalker murder scene, if you will. So it's, you know, starts off, it's this newscaster, and she's being stalked, and eventually ends in her ultimate demise. And it's very incredible because you see these kids, and they just dive into their characters, and the murderer is very creepy, and you really feel like, I never want to see this person ever again. And so that was good for them to explore kind of their creativeness with just writing a piece like that. We did have some really sad pieces, dramatic solo and dramatic duo. And one of them was makes me want to cry. It's about these two mothers who meet at a hospital, children's hospital, and their kids are both dying from cancer. And so it's just this story about how these two moms, you know, kind of figure out, how do you tell your child they're dying, and it's very heartbreaking, and they actually placed second with that piece at state.
Wow!
Yeah, it was very moving.
Can we give the authors, the
Yes,
creators?
that
of
was
it?
Cayenne McCabe and Amelia Flieger Curry, two
Wow!
of my juniors.
Wow, that's impressive. One of the things, you know, we talked about that the high school association has sanctioned speech,
Yep.
debate, and drama, but you're missing one of those items. You're
Yes.
missing debate, but there's hope, maybe.
Yes, there is hope. I've been talking to a few students that just are very good at arguing in general, so I'm trying to help to get them on our team and on the debate side. If we could revive that, I think it would make us a pretty good competitor all in all, and so hopefully we can snag some children that like to argue and debate.
Well, a lot of folks, me included, you know, kind of blend speech and debate into the same, but it's not.
Nope,
They're,
nope.
It's two different genres.
Yeah. So speech, there's a variety. They could do a memorized public address. They can do an original oratory, which that's something that they just want to teach somebody about something, and they can go in and do that. Debate is specific with policy. So they have the policies, what they debate changes. They have the Lincoln Douglas, and then another topic changes every 3 months to keep it fresh and relevant. So they're not debating the same thing throughout the entire year. And I do not have any experience with debate right now, as we don't have any kids, so that will definitely be a giant learning curve for me if we get in there with some kids, but it's pretty intense and competitive, and they're honestly really cutthroat, and they intimidate me, those kids that get in there, and they're in their business suits, and they're in there arguing. And
Well, you mentioned the Lincoln Douglas debate. That's a very historic debate.
Yeah.
Do they get involved in like some of the key issues that they're in Beaverhead County, or I should say, as an example, Beaverhead County or the state of Montana, or maybe on a national scale?
so in the other policy debates that they can, and it just depends on the topic that coaches put forth.
So
as suggestions.
So the Lincoln Douglas is a standard that everybody may have to do and just see how well you do it.
Right, exactly.
So you mentioned, you're going to need a learning curve when it comes to teaching or a coaching debate. What is your learning curve, with the speech and drama and stuff like that? I mean, you're a very articulate young woman anyway, so, but I mean, you probably had to do some late
Oh,
night
yeah.
cramming and stuff like that, and
Oh, yeah.
phone calls, how do I do this, how do I do that, and maybe watching YouTube. I mean, YouTube.
Yep, I did do that. I had zero experience. I just kind of happened into this because our program kind of went through a few years of non-existence, and so I felt that it shouldn't just go away completely. And I talked to these my now juniors when they were sophomores, like, well, if you guys want to do this, I could help you. Let's just get it going. And in fact, I had no idea about any of it, and I relied heavily on former teacher Luke Lewis and Maria Hansen. She was our former coach about 5-6 years ago, and constantly was calling and asking them advice and how do you navigate these things, and what's the best way to go about putting kids in events, and how do you handle the coach's side of things when you're at a meet, because it's such a weird and unique culture when you're at an event and you're participating, and the coaches have been there forever, so they have their little cliques, and they know each other well, and you got this new person coming in, and it's like, oh, who's this? And I'll be honest, it's not the most friendly thing to walk into, but once you get to know them and you prove like, hey, I'm here to learn, it's a pretty remarkable place to be.
Well, I say you did pretty good. I say all the phone calls and the cramming
yeah.
and the being the new kid on the block and stuff like that. I'd say you absorbed a lot because a divisional championship and a third place showing
Yep.
in state. Well done, Coach Plutt.
And that's totally on the kids,
Well,
they
yeah,
perform so well.
that's true. But you can have the players, but they also need the right type of guidance
Right.
that directs them. How to do everything and stuff like that. But you're right. It's a team effort. You're part of that team. But congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice job bringing some trophies back. And maybe next year when we talk again, you'll have a few more trophies to talk
I'm
about.
hoping,
And maybe
yeah.
we can we'll have to talk to Jeremy and see about the time factor. But maybe we can find one of your speech people or a debater, if you have a debater, or maybe somebody can come in and put a little presentation on as
Oh,
part
they would love to do that.
as
yeah.
part of our deal. So, and that would really introduce what speech, drama, and I'm going to say debate, because I know
It'll be there.
I know you. It will be there. It will be there. Well, Jordan, thank you very much for stopping in and sharing everything, and congratulations again on a great season.
Yes, thank you. Thank
And
you for having me.
yeah, it's fun, and I actually learned some stuff,
Yeah.
so that made it even better. And I think Jeremy's shaking his head over there. He's learned a little bit too. So Jordan Plutt, thank you again for stopping down. Jordan, the head speech, debate, and drama coach at Beaverhead County High School. Today's Extra Point brought to you by Dennis Scherg of Edward Jones, 82 Coffee Company, Susan McCrae Accounting, and Town & Country Foods. We'll see you next time on Extra Point.